intercepted the two-team swap turnovers. And now a third consecutive turnover. Williams to George. Off glass, and welcome to the family, Paul George.
That was a nice play right there. Good recognition by Lou Will.
David Griffin. Forget the players. The new front office, he is going to be terrific. Hey, Paul George bouncing into defenders, lays it and counted on a foul.
Very nice drawn up play. Comes off a pin down and attacks that young fella for the and one.
Los Angeles. Two-man game with George and Zoo. Paul George off the window and knocks it in. A multitasking line for him. 5 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. George creates space and then knocks down the three, and the Clippers lead by a dozen. 12-0 run. They lead by 14. They've had 7 10-point leads this season. They've won every one of those games.
And there they go again. Nice deflection right there. Will fire from anywhere, as you just seen.
Lee trimmed into single digits. Paul George spots an entry to the rim, hit hard, counted on a foul, and send him to the line.
Bang. You need to get fouled really hard just to know, you know what, my shoulder's feeling just.
Probably another month or so for the suspension. Oh no, Paul George, make us proud, bounces out the backboard. Oh, Montrezl Harrell does the rest.
They're saying defense to offense, Clipper fans. That's what you're going to see all year long.
Mo Harkless played so well the other night. Here is Paul George in traffic, floats it up anyway. Defended by 3 Thunder would-be defenders, I should say.
Gallo historically has always been a really good first half, first quarter player, so you got to do a good job on him early on.
Paul George continues to smolder, and I don't know what else you can say about him.
Players gave multiple efforts to close out on shooters.
George from the same spot he hit the go-ahead 3, does it again here tonight.
On balance, ready to shoot. Nice job of splitting that double team and getting the ball to Paul George, who steps right in.
Tatum averaging 20 a contest. George on Walker, shoots over the top of him.
It was a nice job right there, Pat Bev, of recognizing the mismatch.
Growth of guys like Jaylen Brown, who misses right there, and Jason Tatum kind of picking up where they left off a couple of years ago in the playoffs. Oh, what a block inside by Paul George.
One of the better defenders in the game right now. Just an excellent block shot right there. Over the rim, too.
7 missed shots in a row by the Celtics. They still lead by. Back out to George. Just a screen from Zoo. Nice pass inside. Look out below! Oh, my! Zubac with a two-handed finish. Now 2 years, 9 games, 13 points, and 12 threes for Harden in the first quarter. Here's Zubac. How about the floater from the big fella? Good ball movement by the Clippers. Harkless tries to back down on McLemore. Finds a streaking Paul George. Counted on a foul.
The patience by PG using the up fake to get Clint Capella up in the air for the N1.
You've got Mo Harkless, you've got Ivica Zubac, guys that might not ever lead a statistical category. George with 15. Doncic into the paint, turns it over. Beverly and the Clippers have numbers if they push. To George, to the cup. Oh my! Look out below! Paul George with points 16 and 17.
Let's take a look right here as we see the scrambling, the pick off by stepping up into the passing lane, and then this is a wind-up throw it down by Paul George. Patrick Beverly made a great rotation, stepped up to take the charge, and Morant went straight up and came straight down.
George for the lead, got it!
George on the drive. The reason they haven't been able to practice together because of the injury suffered by George, and the schedule has not allowed it. As Leonard is able to knock down a 3 for Lillard. George for 3. Paul George, who comes off an excellent shooting at 57. What a good first half. 6-0 run here by the Blazers. George for 3. Yes. I should say Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo hitting from 3. It was George. No, Paul George. I'm sorry. Now here's George. ahead of the field and score. I saw a mini celebration by Carmelo at his brother. So the Clippers have
3 for 5. Clippers have outscored the Bucks 9-4. After trailing by as many as 15. A deep 3 for Paul George. Book it for Paul George.
Paul George on a little bit of a flare. Nice job of creating an opportunity by Lou Will. And that was a deep three-point shot.
George and Leonard play catch late in the clock for Paul George. Look at a 6-2 run, I beg your pardon, for the Bucks. George flings in a 3 and momentarily stops the bleeding. Bledsoe recovers. DiVincenzo blocked by George. Loose ball picked up by Matthews, blocked by Leonard.
Yes, I absolutely did. You see the Clippers here come out into a zone defense a little bit to protect themselves from that pick and roll.
George comes away with a steal, leads it ahead to Beverly. In attack mode, no. TJ McConnell is back on the bench. Joining TJ Leaf. George, wraparound pass to Zubats, and he leaves it in. Counted on a foul. Give him one more on the house.
On a down screen, we know how deadly he could be there. Going to draw extra attention.
Minute to play in this first half, and the Clippers lead by 6. George for another 3, same result, and the Clippers now beginning to smolder to close out.
And he's going to continue to keep cooking. I'll tell you what, these fans better leave Paul George.
All that much, all of that is gone. Become more of an efficient player despite a bigger role. Speaking of big roles, Paul George down the lane and down the hatch it goes.
Much he could have done differently on that play.
George picked up by Okogie, goes solo, steps away for a long 2 and knocks it in. And Paul George and the Clippers lead 16-9. This man, the rookie, getting the nod again for Pat Beverly out of the game tonight. George for 3, and Paul George now with 26. Los Angeles. No free throws for Wiggins. An inbound, and then ultimately a turnover. Here comes Paul George. Largest of the game for the Clippers. Zubats extends it. George. How about the handle? Cradles the ball to the rim. Counted on a foul.
Look at Paul George's handle right here. Keeps a guy off balance. Finishes under duress. It's the perfect time to do it right now.
George accelerates. Goes down the lane. Looks like he's playing hopscotch. Counted on a foul and send him to the line.
He scores really quickly and in bunches. And if he can.
Now 1 for 4 to open up all of his shots outside the paint. George for 3, and the Clippers have made their last 5 shots. They lead by 5, 17-12. Gets his first rebound. Throws it away. George gets it back with Oubre to beat it. He flushes it in. And stares him down after the flush.
You dunk on me, I'm going to dunk on you.
They're both.
Beverly with the rebound. Here's George. Yes! Another 3 for George. Here we go now. Leonard and George. Paul George now with 6 3-pointers. Here's Westbrook. Oh, he's rejected by George.
You know, a couple years ago in Toronto, he really started shooting that 3 and shooting it well.
George, counted on a foul.
This foul right here. Getting that contact, but not only that.
Taken away by Danny Green, his former Raptor teammate. Kuzma gets inside, blocked by George. Knocked it off the backboard, and Patterson will have a dunk down the other end. Right now, a 7-point game. Paul George banks it home as the shot clock expired.
This team goes with Donovan Mitchell. So, for me, he needs to be an all-star.
Level Larceny, here's George. Takes it to the house and punches it in with the right hand. Given space, attacks. Harkless beats the clock and then knocks it in for his second bucket. It's a long 2 for Mo Harkless. Barnes down the lane. No, and Walton Jr. has the loose ball. Clippers hunting for the lead. George, spoon feeds Zubats at the cup, and he powers it in with 2.
You know what I don't like about those plays? Buddy Hill had 2 possessions wide open in the corner. Sometimes when you use that shot fake, take the contact to get those 3 free throws, as Mr. PG-13 knocks down a three.
Impacted the game, and I think that's what's truly special.
Well, he was. I mean, absolutely he was. And the greatest commissioner of any sport that's ever been around, the way that he grew this game.
The way that he grew the game was amazing, but I think the epicenter of the game growth just really goes to the Dream Team.
And I agree with you 100%.
Good second effort by JaMychal Green, allowing Harkless for the rebound. Back to George, bouncing into defenders and lays it in.
What a beautiful pass by Lou Williams.
Have to do a better job, as we heard from Rex, to defend without fouling.
So what you're showing me is that you are great math. And you see Patrick Beverly with the three. Watch Paul George kick out. He knows exactly where his teammate is. He draws two white jerseys. Wide open looks. He's going to start to warm up on you.
Clippers by a dozen. Great feed in from McLaughlin. Better block from Paul George.
Do that. And then the defense from behind Paul George swiped it out of there.
Beverly comes away with rebound number 4. Clippers looking for the lead. George to the rack, reverse layup. Oh my! Reorganizes in mid-flight, lays it up and in, counted on a foul.
Because he's willing to give it up, he changes gears, Paul George, and finishes.
Nice look there at Paul George. Great job by the camera crew. The two-man game without Adebayo. They go into Adebayo. Pass intercepted by Paul George. Beverly on Robinson. Off the window.
When you've targeted a player like Marcus for the time we did, it allows you time to lay some groundwork. And so we're very fortunate to be able to acquire this.
Cavaliers win the tip. They'll have the ball to start the fourth quarter as well. And on the first possession, a steal for Paul George and the Clippers. George runs the show ahead to Zoo. Swivels away from the defense. George spins away from Drummond, gets the contact, counted on a foul, and give him one more on the house.
To switch onto him, Drummond, now he spins back away from him, right into Sexton.
This year, that is exactly what you want him to do, especially early on in the clock, and that's exactly what you want that guy to do. Paul George rips the cords and shows how it's done.
Lisa Zubac is doing a phenomenal job pushing Valanciunas out of his space, which allows Paul George to finish with authority.
Series with Denver, just 3 games. If the Nuggets win, they'll win the season series and a tiebreaker. Clippers off to the races. George to the house. Oh my! When he shoots off the moon dust after he returns from orbit, and the Clippers win by 11.
Kawhi Leonard right here gets his hand and deflection on that basketball, and off to the races they are. Paul George, beautiful, beautiful finish on the fast break.
George heaves a triple. Oh my! Oh my! 5 threes for Paul George and the Clippers.
From getting out playing defense, and that's just confidence right there.
But Mike, he was so well coached at SMU. They were an excellent team in his career there, as Horford picks up his third.
Count it and 1.
Ability to play out a pick and roll. So good at keeping the defender behind him, and challenging the big defense.
Who was always playing for the right reasons. Wants to win every single night. You also always have a chance when Paul George is making shots like that, partner.
Gets around Beverly, collides with Zubac, misses the shot. Here come the Clippers off and running.
These are opportunities that you have to take advantage of if you're the Clippers.
Paul George flushes it in with 2.
Not do it. Doesn't matter who you're playing. They've done a good job early in this game thus far.
You mentioned Montrezl Harrell has come on for the Clippers. Well, the best bench in the NBA. George, nice hesitation. He got hit. And he'll go to the line for the three-point play.
And admire LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis. But I have every right to feel like I can very well be the best player on a given night.
Rondo looking for LeBron James, deflected by Paul George. And here's JaMychal Green, who should have an easy 2.
They have as good a two-way wings as we've seen in this league since Jordan and Pippen.
George, the pull-up 3. He cans it.